video, Lloyd Ruhl, aka MegaBlitzz. In today's video, we're going to be looking at all the most recent Pokebeach news. From all of the Mask of Change main set cards being released, we got some badge registration dates and welcome kit stuff to look at from NAIC. Just kind of want to see what the swag kit looks like more or less as well. And we also got some Kilowattrol and Scrafty, like, gym promos and stuff coming in that got revealed for April, so we'll take a look at those as well. So starting us off here, we got all of the main set cards released. We got a lot of different art cards. A lot of these we've already kind of went over and read, but a good chunk of them are pretty new. And get down here to the translation part here. So a lot of these things we've seen, like the Sunkern with the not great attack, flip 4 coins, you know, maybe you can do 40 damage if you get lucky. So a lot of these are going to be kind of just like a reminder, or just kind of, we're going to skip past and just kind of flip through them here. We got a new Heracross, which this is not Heracross, this is Trevenant. I'm not sure why it says Heracross, but I love that. Yes, and we had the Festival Lead like package type thing going around with the Thwacky and the couple other cards as well that had the ability Bang Bang Drum for Festival Lead, or had something around the Festival Lead card. You know, and then the ability Festival Lead on this Diplin as well is another thing. We got like the new Urgapons that we've kind of already looked at and read. So the Chandelure, I absolutely love this card. Inviting Light, once during a turn you use its ability, each player draws a card. Mind Ruler 30 times, this does 30 damage for each card in your opponent's hand. Is really powerful, I feel like, especially on a one prizer. This Goldeen also has a Festival Lead ability as well. So we got quite a bit of Pokemon that have the Festival Lead ability. This ability here for this Milotic Tranquil, your opponent's Pokemon in play and cards attached to Pokemon can't be returned to their hand. So that's pretty cool, kind of shutting off things like Penny or anything that would like pick up a Pokemon that have stuff attached to it going back into their hand, which is kind of nice. So pretty neat there with that. Nothing too crazy. We got Freezing Curtain here on this Frost Blast. During Pokemon checkout, put 1 damage counter on each Pokemon in play with an ability. Both yours and opponents except any Frost Blast. Could be kind of cool if you pair this maybe with like something like Raiden Hisuian Sneasler might not work because it has to have like Pokemon Checkup, as opposed, maybe it could work because this is Pokemon Checkup and Raiden Hisuian Sneasler also. I'm not too sure actually how that would work, because I like status conditions take effect in order for Hisuian Sneasler to work. I'm not too sure. We've looked at the Zero to Hero ability here with the Palafin and stuff. I think it's really cool. The more I think about it, actually, the more I'm like, this card is not playable, though. Just because there's so much you have to do, right? So once during your turn, when Pokemon moves from the active spot to the bench, you may switch your deck for Palafin EX, switch with this Pokemon. Any cards attached, special conditions, turns in play, whatever, gets put on the Palafin EX, and then put this Pokemon in play only with the Zero to Hero ability. So basically, you would have to get this from when it moves to the active spot to the bench. So you'd have to get it into the active spot, retreat it or get it to the bench in some sort of capacity, evolve it into Palafin, attach an energy for turn or have one attached so it will swap over, and then get it back in to the active spot to then take an attack for 250 damage. Doesn't feel super great, but at least the card looks super cool. So we'll give it that. So the card looks super cool. We looked at this Iron Bundle already with the Interjet attack. Switches Pokemon with one of your bench Pokemon. If you do switch your opponent's active Pokemon to their bench, your opponent chooses a new active. Really cool. And then we had the Wellmask Ogrepon, which I think is probably one of the better ones. Definitely up there for sure. Now this Luxray EX is something that I have not seen. Piercing Glint, 120 damage. Look at your opponent's hand and discard one card you find there. So pretty cool. Stage 2, so 310 HP, about the same as Gardevoir, so not super bulky like Charizard is, but double colorless, so you can just put a DTE on this thing, do 100 damage, and then kind of disrupt your opponent and discard cards. And then for double lightning, 250 damage, discard all energy from this Pokemon. I could see maybe this getting played in like a control type deck or something, where you're trying to kind of play this Luxray with things like the Luxray V, with the Fang Snipe attack, and then play things like Eerie as well, to try to just like pull a bunch of items out of their hand, which could be kind of cool. Plus, I also just like Luxray a lot as a Pokemon. I think it looks super cool, and this art looks incredible. So Pretty cool there. We got an Emolga here. Skywave, 10 damage. Tech does 10 damage to each of your bench Pokemon. To each bench Pokemon, both yours and your opponents. Okay, so not great at all. I mean, it's got a free retreat, but its attack is actually awful. Now, I think this Kilowattrel is really cool, actually. So, Wind Charge, 10 damage. During your next turn, this Pokemon's attack does 120 more damage to your opponent's active Pokemon. So, basically, you can just be like, okay, 10 damage, and then have, like, hope it doesn't get KO'd or something, and then be able to do 120 again. I was kind of thinking more like GLC type stuff when I saw this card, and I was like, this could be pretty fun to mess around with. Because I have been messing around with a little bit of GLC more often than not. Just kind of in my free time. So we got a Psychic attack here on that Kadabra, 10 plus, set to 30 damage for each energy attached to your opponent's active Pokemon. So really punishing things that have a lot of energy attached, so decks like Lugia or Chien-Pao. If they aren't going to be like discarding them that turn to take a KO or something, can kind of punish them for that. Alakazam, Psychic does, same attack as this, just it's 50 more damage for each energy, but its Strange Hack attack I think is really cool. Your opponent's active Pokemon is now confused, move any number of damage counters from your opponent's Pokemon to their other Pokemon in any way you like, I think is really good. We got another Festival Lead Pokemon. We've already looked at all the Festival Lead stuff, so I'm not going to spend any time on that. We've already looked at the Monkey Dory stuff as well, but just to recap, Adrenaline Brain. Once during your turn, if this Pokemon has any darkness energy attached to it, you may move it to 3 damage counters from one of your Pokemon to one of your opponent's Pokemon. So, putting yourself in a position where you can kind of mind bend 60 damage, your opponent's active Pokemon's not confused, and then if it has dark energy attached, you can manipulate damage counters and stuff and move them around, which is pretty cool. And then we got Adrenaline Pheromones. This Pokemon has any darkness energy attached to it. And if any damage was done to this Pokemon by attack, flip a coin. If heads, prevent all that damage. So there's a lot of synergy with these kind of Pokemon. There's another one as well that I think does something similar. It might not be darkness energy specifically for the other ones, but definitely a cool little synergy there. Especially because they're on basic Pokemon, and 110 and 120 HP on a basic Pokemon is pretty decent. Just kind of scrolling down through, we had looked at all these. Yeah, this is the other one. Yeah, so Darkness Energy, Adrenaline Power. If this Pokemon has any Darkness Energy attached to it, it gets 100 plus 100 HP. This attaches 100 more damage to your opponent's active Pokemon. So the hard part about this one is you are putting an energy onto Okidogi, and he's not. It doesn't benefit from it because you have to have double fighting energy to do the Oki Punch for 70. And then you have to attach a fighting energy to this for it to get bulkier to 230. And then you have to attach, have the energy attached also to do more damage. Just doesn't feel as good to me. Cornerstone, I actually like this one a lot. Prevent all damage done from attacks on those Pokemon if your opponent's Pokemon that have an ability. So basically preventing damage things that have an ability. So Lugia has an ability, Charizard has an ability, things like that. I actually really like the Cornerstone Mask Ogerpon EX a lot. I think we had talked about it kind of being my favorite just coincidentally. We've already read a lot of these here. I remember this Aggron having a pretty neat attack. Anger Slam 50 times. This attack does 50 damage for each of your Pokemon that has any damage counters on it. So you can pair this with Gapejaw Bog and then just Rare Candy into this, attach a Metal Energy, and then just be like, all right, smack something for whatever amount of damage, 200 or 250 or however many things have damage counters on it. I think is really cool. This Heatran with its ability says, if this Pokemon is in the active spot and is damaged by an attack from your opponent's Pokemon, even if the Pokemon is knocked out, the attacking Pokemon is now burned. So pretty cool. Definitely like that. Got another Revavroom here with this attack Rally Back 30 plus. If any of your Pokemon were knocked out by damage from an attack in your opponent's last turn, this attack does 90 more damage. Running Charge 100 times. Flip a coin until you get tails. This attack does 100 damage for each heads. So pretty cool. Dragapult EX. Jet Headbutt 70 damage for 1 colorless, and then a Fire and a Psychic Energy. Phantom Dive 200 damage. Put 6 damage counters on one of your opponent's bench Pokemon in any way you like. So you can kind of just hit 200, put 6 wherever, which is pretty cool. I definitely like that. And it's got a pretty cheap retreat cost of 320, and it's got no weakness or resistance. So nice, good 320 HP Pokemon there. Pretty cool. Tetsuguri, attract customers. Once during your turn, this Pokemon is in the active spot. You move to the top 6 cards of your deck, reveal a supporter card you find there, put it into your hand, and then shuffle the other cards in your deck. Now, this card has been kind of like trending on Twitter a little bit. Everyone's been talking about how it's a lot like the Jirachi with Stellar Wish, where that was look at the top 5 and do something very similar. But the really cool thing about this is you're going to be able to put this in your deck, put a rescue board in the deck, and then be able to just like, all right, Tetsuguri, attract customers, look at the top 6, find a supporter card, put it into your hand, rescue board, retreat out of it into your attacker, play whatever supporter if you found one, or if you don't want to, you know, boss, Iono, anything like that. Can be really nice. So having something like this where you don't really have to worry about maybe playing Lumineon or something could be kind of nice. So we'll definitely have to see here. And then we got this Farfetch'd Sonic Duty. When you play this Pokemon from your hand onto your bench during your turn, you may search your deck for a Pokemon 2 card attached to this Pokemon. I really was excited about having more tool stuff. I wish this set just had put it into your hand, because then you could open up things like Riverroom EX being relevant, or having like a tool type deck being a thing. But having it get it straight up attached to this Pokemon is actually awful, and it feels kind of bad. This Blissey EX, though, I really like this card. Its ability, Happy Switch. Once during your turn, you may move a basic energy from one of your Pokemon to another one of your Pokemon. For triple colorless, so 3 colorless, return is going to be 180 damage. You may draw cards until you have 6 cards in your hand. So on a stage 1, 300 HP, weak to fighting, got a really big retreat cost over 4, but that opens up to you to play things like Heavy Baton in this deck and actually have relevance for it. I think is going to be really, really cool. We got this Ambipom here, Wicked Tail. When you play this Pokemon from your hand to evolve one of your Pokemon during your turn, flip 2 coins for each head, choose a random card in your opponent's hand. That opponent reveals cards and shuffle back into their deck. So cute little mechanic there. I like that a lot. We've already seen the Ogre Mask. We've seen the Waking Whistle as well. Now we got Secret Box. Now this is the new SPECs that I haven't seen yet or haven't read. Discard 3 cards from your hand in order to use this card. Search your deck for 1 item, tool, supporter, and 1 stadium. Reveal them and put them into your hand. So that's pretty cool. So basically just discard 3 things, maybe something you don't need, or maybe even having this like in Lugia could be really good, because if you have like 1 Archeops or something, or 2 Archeops in your hand, Secret Box, discard 2 of those 3 cards being Archeops, and then you're able to find an item, a tool, a supporter, and a stadium. We don't really play tools in Lugia, however, you can find an item being maybe something like Capturing Aroma or a Great Ball or whatever, a supporter being like Boss or Iono or something, and then a stadium being like Calap Stadium, or maybe we can even open up this place something like maybe Mesagoza again. We're not really playing Mesagoza right now, but Calap Stadium could be something worth playing in that deck, or maybe even Lost City, because you like hit the Lost City, attack, and then put whatever it is into the Lost Zone. Could be kind of cool as well. We got Scoop Up Cyclone. Put one of your Pokemon and all cards attached to it into your hand. Kind of that Milotic card that we read earlier kind of shuts this down a little bit, but I think this is definitely still going to be a card that gets played quite a bit, being able to just like pick something up, put it back down. It reminds me a lot of the Palkia V-Star and Teleon deck, where you had the Shadings Dealings, so you could just like scoop up, pick up the Pokemon, evolve into a different one, Shadings Dealings again, rebench the Sobble, and you can do things like that, where you could do that, or you could do like a quad goon play or a triple goon play, where you like scoop it up 3 times, put 3 damage counters on something to make the math a little bit better for your attack or something. Could be kind of cool. Bug Catching Set. Look at the top 7 cards of your deck. You may choose up to 2 in any combination of grass Pokemon and grass energy you find them, reveal them, put them into your hand. So not super great. I really just wish we had better supporters or items for grass type Pokemon. Like, you have Gardenia's Vigor and the card's not great. You have Bug Catching Set now and that card's not even that great. I just wish grass had a little bit more support. It's just kind of felt very underwhelming for a very long period of time. It's always been like that support type, and I wish at some point it could be maybe a little bit more of a relevant type, instead of just being like that support side thing. Handy Fan. Whenever the active Pokemon this card is attached to takes damage from an opponent's attack, move an energy from the attacking Pokemon to one of your opponent's bench Pokemon. You may attach any number of Pokemon tools you find there during your turn. So that's pretty cool. You may attach any number of Pokemon tools, so you're able to kind of move things around, which is kind of neat. But I don't know. It still doesn't feel great. I mean, I guess like you can kind of do the Farfetch, put a tool on it, hope it doesn't get KO'd. Handy Fan, move the tools to like Riverroom EX or something, and then do that. But I'm not too sure. We've already read the Kieran and the Carmen, and the Hassel is something I have not read though. You can play this card if any of your Pokemon are knocked out during your opponent's last turn. Look at the top 8 cards of your deck, put 3 of them into your hand, shuffle the rest in your deck. So not too bad of a card, actually. Plus, it looks really cool. We got like all these pictures over here, so definitely like an artist of some sorts, maybe. Festival Grounds, we got Jamming Tower here. Pokemon tools attached to Pokemon play have no effect. So now, not only are they giving us more things to make tools better, or to make a tool deck relevant, they're going to put in a stadium. That makes it so they're not relevant. Thanks, Pokemon. Really appreciate it. We got Legacy Energy here. I think we've already read this card. As long as this card is attached to a Pokemon, it provides every type of energy, but only provides energy at a time. As long as this card is attached to a Pokemon, when it's knocked out by damage from attack, your opponent takes one of this prize card. So the nice thing about this is playing Legacy Energy and something like Lugia is going to open up back to playing maybe like Radiant Charizard or something in the deck. Instead of having to play the Luminous Energy for it, you can just have the Legacy Energy for that. Or the best part about this is Legacy Energy can also just get attached to any one of your other Pokemon. That's one of the downsides of Luminous Energy, is that it feels really bad when you attach a Luminous Energy to another Pokemon that has energy already on it, because it really kind of dilutes the effect, as opposed to Legacy Energy where that doesn't happen. Kind of cool. Now we got some pretty cool art cards to look at here. Just kind of take a quick moment to enjoy the art that Pokemon does so well. Love the Dipplin. This Frostlass looks super creepy and super cool, and I'm definitely liking that. This Wattrel looks really cool. I like how they're kind of like underwater. I've said it a million times, and I will continue to say it. I'm a huge fan of any Pokemon card that has like an underwater theme to it. I think they just look aesthetically so pleasing. So really cool on that art there. The Chimecho looks really cute. I love how hanging out next to these other chimes, kind of going for the theme here, kind of fitting in and blending in, which is really cool. You got the Monkey Dory, I believe the name is. Very cool. For those that don't know, my favorite tree is a cherry blossom tree. So definitely a big fan of this art here. Love this, just kind of very majestic, but also very intimidating in the same time. Looks really cool. Got this Timber working hard here, kind of getting everything ready. Got the girder hanging out in the bottom there. So that's pretty cool. I can't remember this one. I think it was like, what, Okidogi or something like that. Very aggressive, just kind of charging in at you. There was a joke I had seen where someone was like, he just wants a hug, he just wants cuddles. And I'm like, no thanks, I'm okay. Got a Blake one here. Tatsugiri, I will say I'm not a huge fan of this art. But I can at least acknowledge that it is cute, and I think it fits Tatsugiri's, just like what the Pokemon is, and I think it fits the theme very well, just not the kind of art for me. Like this Chansey here. Chansey's working hard. Maybe it might be the Blissey, but I think Chansey makes more sense because it's in the front. But I love how they're in a Pokemon Center, as usually where Chansey was kind of the mascot of the Pokemon Center, was always the one taking care of everything and helping out Nurse Joy and stuff, so pretty cool there. Let's scroll down, because I know there's a couple other ones. We got this Kieran here. Pretty cool. Hanging out in the park. I don't remember this one's name, but very nice. We got the Ogre Pawn Altarts. I will say I'm not a big fan of these. I know the theme they're going for and the aesthetic they're going for, and I think it's a great idea, and it definitely makes sense to just not... They're just not for me. They're not my thing. But I can at least acknowledge that they are unique in their own right. So that's pretty cool. All right, and then going up here, we'll look at the Killer Wattrel and some other promos here. We got the Killer Wattrel EX return charge for 1 lightning energy. Switch this Pokemon with one of your bench Pokemon that attach up to 2 basic lightning energy from your hand to this Pokemon. So pretty okay. And then Thunder Lance for double colorless, 40 plus. It attaches 40 damage for each lightning energy attached to this Pokemon. So pretty cool. Maybe we might see like Killer Wattrel type deck where it's playing like double colorless energy and playing like, you know, electric generators and trying to jam a bunch of energies onto Killer Wattrel and really hit some big numbers with that Killer Wattrel here. And then we got this Scraggy and Scrafty, and we also got Roto's Stick as well. Kick Shot for 30 damage, flip a coin if his tail attack does nothing, for 1 dark energy. So pretty neat there. We got Snatch for 1 colorless energy for each of your bench Pokemon. Search your deck for a card, put that card into your hand. So I really like this. I think that's really unique. I could see this maybe getting played in like a control type variant or a deck where you're trying to really have card advantage over your opponent. And then High Jump Kick for 100 damage. Not super great because it costs 3 energy. 1 dark, double colorless feels kind of bad. We got Roto Stick here. Look at the top 4 cards of your deck. You reveal any number of supporter cards you find there. Put them in your hand, shuffle the others back into your deck. So pretty cool. You can also, the nice thing I like about a lot of these like items and trainers and stuff is a lot of them can kind of just get put into like any deck and it would make sense. If someone was playing Roto Stick in a deck like Lost Box or something, I'm not really gonna look at them in a odd way. I'm gonna be like, oh yeah, sure. I mean, I guess that makes sense. You know, Pokegear might be my pick, but Roto Stick also makes sense, I see. So pretty cool there. And then we got the badge registration and the swag kit. This is kind of where we're going to end today's episode as looking at this here. I will not be going to NAIC in New Orleans. However, I always do like to look at the swag kit here. I definitely like this playmat a lot. I really like how they're going for the ancient future like theme on a playmat. And they're giving it like, these are kind of some of the highlight Pokemon that are going on, right? So Roaring Moon EX was a Pokemon that was really relevant. And we got the baby Roaring Moon with the vengeful fletching attack that's very relevant right now. And then we got Fluttermane as well, kind of being a relevant card as well, really having some disruption elements to it with that ability that it has. And then of course Iron Valiant EX has always been kind of a Pokemon that's not super popular, but there was a couple decks based around that. And I've seen a couple Lost Box variants that are playing like future type stuff with Iron Valiant as well. And then of course Iron Hands for that amp you very much that everyone loves. Like the deck box sleeves are pretty cool, hat, and I'm a really big lanyard person, so I'm definitely a fan of that lanyard there. So really, really cool. Alrighty, let's jump right in to that outro. Alrighty, that's going to do it for today's video with all that Pokebeach news. Just want to remind you guys, if you've been enjoying the content I've been making stuff for you on our channel, do not forget to leave a like, smash that subscribe button. I really would appreciate it. And I'll see you all in the next one. Peace!